Have you ever had your loyalty tested? Not deliberately tested by an individual, but tested by the situation, tested by the circumstances. Maybe you were in a situation and you were questioning whether or not you should stay in that situation. And maybe your friends and family were low-key trying to convince you to bail on the situation. And maybe you understood, at least consciously, that bailing on the situation would have been the easiest choice. It would have been the short-term, profitable choice. But something about you convinced you not to bail on the situation, because that would be incongruent with your nature. Incongruent with your nature as someone who is inherently loyal, who maybe has a level of loyalty higher than most people. Now, maybe this is something you never really thought about compared to other people, but in that particular situation, there was something that made you decide to just stick it out, to remain loyal. Now, maybe you didn't label it as being loyal. Maybe you didn't label it as anything. Maybe you just felt this inner subconscious desire, urge, compulsion to stick with it, despite what your family and friends were maybe low-key trying to persuade you to do. And it ended up being the right thing to do. You stuck through the storm. And because of your inherent loyalty, you weathered this situation and you came out ahead on the other end. Now, maybe your friends and family gave you some acknowledgement. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they pretended they supported you all along. Maybe they didn't. Maybe you were consciously aware of what you did. Maybe you weren't. But you felt good on some level because you recognized within yourself that you have this thing called loyalty that a lot of people these days don't have. In fact, I was listening to this dating coach, this psychologist on a podcast the other day, and she was saying loyalty is an extremely rare trait today because of dating culture and online dating and online ecosystems anyway, and hookup culture. There are far more opportunity costs than there have ever been in human history when it comes to relationships. An opportunity cost is something that you can't get when you decide what you want. When you buy the garlic flavored pasta sauce at the supermarket, you can't get the mushroom flavored pasta sauce. Whenever we choose something, there are direct costs, that thing costs, then there are opportunity costs. When we get the thing we want, we can't get other things that are similar to the thing we want. And this is a common scenario anyways in relationships. If you don't have a relationship partner, you'll have a certain level of confidence, self-esteem, and you'll be on a certain place on the scarcity, abundance mindset continuum. But once you get into a relationship, once you have a relationship partner, your confidence naturally goes up. Your self-esteem naturally goes up. And your self-awareness about your value compared to other people naturally goes up. And you start to see things that you maybe didn't see before because you've shifted a little bit from the scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset. And because you are a little bit more abundantly minded, you're seeing the opportunity costs that maybe you didn't see before. You're experiencing a shift from scarcity to abundance with respect to your confirmation bias. So you're seeing the opportunity costs, and because you're more confident, you're radiating a different kind of energy to all these other people. And so once you get into a relationship, you start to interact with people more friendly, more happily, more outgoingly, more charismatically, and that creates a much different feedback loop that you get from the environment. And that creates all these opportunities, which is why once you get into a relationship, you start to see all these other people that you could also maybe be in a relationship with. This dynamic has always existed. But she was saying that because of the last 10 and 20 years of social media and online dating and hookup culture, and everybody is looking around seeing everybody else in terms of short-term hookups, which increases all these social signals anyways, and then you compound with social media driven opportunity costs, it means things like loyalty is almost going extinct. Because as soon as you get into a relationship, even if you're just talking to somebody, even if you're in the beginning stages of maybe being in a relationship, that will change everything. That has almost an exponential metaphorical steroid-driven effect on the confirmation bias that you see from all these opportunity costs walking all over the world and through social media. So she was saying that people that have an inherent sense of loyalty are becoming very, very rare. And if you imagine this within your own experience of your own loyalty, you might begin to realize now that it is your inherent loyalty that makes you so valuable as a potential relationship partner. And she was saying that people that do have a deep sense of loyalty are comparatively much more attractive today than they were maybe 10 years ago. So being loyal is a very, very strong, positive, and rare trait to have today. And once you realize how powerfully attractive your loyalty is, this can allow you to see many, many more opportunities that maybe you didn't realize before. You can either express your loyalty consciously and directly, or you can express your loyalty subconsciously through nonverbal communication. It is your experience feeling and expressing your sense of loyalty that makes you such a rare and attractive potential romantic relationship partner. It's much better to appreciate your loyalty consciously than simply just have this background feeling in the back of your mind, being aware that it exists. She was saying that it's not a good idea to express your loyalty all the time with all the people that you meet. This is like a back of the burner, back of the stove, back of the pocket kind of secret skill that you need to keep only for special people. And you need to qualify people hard today because so many people out there aren't that qualified to be in a relationship with you. And so you need to qualify people hard and be careful of who you share your loyalty with these days. Because when you do find a qualified partner and you do share your loyalty with this qualified partner, this can lead to some fantastic mutually beneficial romantic interactions. Now you might be wondering how you can do this, and you can think back through your history to find all the successful times in your past where you did share your loyalty in a way that got you some positive results, and you will come up with a kind of loyalty strategy that might exist in your subconscious. But when you bring this subconscious strategy up to the conscious level and take control of this and see your loyalty as kind of a weapon to use in the vast sea of low quality people, you can definitely come out ahead. Any future relationship you get into is an opportunity to demonstrate your loyalty, to demonstrate your consistently increasing loyalty in ways that can transform your life. I mean, does it really matter if you have to spend a little bit more time qualifying people today than you did maybe 10 years ago? How many ways do you think having this deep sense of loyalty will help you comparatively speaking? Very few people are as loyal as you. This is something that the more you realize, the more you'll start to express it subconsciously and naturally and organically and in a way that will make you much more romantically attractive. People that enjoy loyal relationships have much higher probability of going the distance, whatever that means to you. Luckily, because you have a higher preset loyalty setting than most other people, this is going to be easy for you. And once people start to realize how loyal you are, how much of a positive relationship trait that is, they will begin to see you in much different perspectives. And it's not just about using loyalty to increase your romantic potential. It's about knowing that you have this romantic potential and the effect that will have on your self-confidence and your self-esteem. It is your loyalty that is going to make you a very, very attractive romantic partner. And she was saying that a good model to use for somebody like you that has a deep sense of loyalty, a good model to use the first time you ever talk to somebody, even if it's a casual conversation, to raise your understanding of your loyalty up to the conscious level and use this as an internal sorting filter, an internal qualification filter. And just while you're talking to somebody, while you're getting to know who they are, while you're having that pre-social conversation, that kind of starting off at the superficial level conversation before it might get deeper and deeper, keep asking yourself consciously, is this the kind of person that deserves my loyalty? Is this the kind of person that deserves this gift that I have that you only need to share with a few special people? And she said, once you make this switch in your mind, once you not only realize how loyalty is your natural weapon of romantic seduction and power, but as a qualifying tool, this will make everything easier. This will make all your future conversations much easier. Something to think about next time you go out into the world and start sorting through all those people for a potential relationship partner.